Antidote administered.
Hello everyone, today I will show you how to use my simple implementation of the HEV suit in Half-Life Alyx. It's a simple script, well, not that simple actually, it's well, a couple of lines of code, but it should work fine. First of all, most of the sounds used by the scripts are included in the game. You can see here, if you look for sound and you look for HEV suit. Okay, all of those are included except for the long boot up sound.
Welcome to the HEV Mark IV protective system. For you activated.
You see, this sound is from Half-Life 1 and is not included in Half-Life Alyx. You can get it, and of course to include it in the game you need to put it into your folder, Half-Life Alyx, into content, HLVR add-ons, the name of your add-on, sounds. Here you can put all the sounds you need. Then, if you go into sound events, you need to have a sound event file. This is the format of the file needed. The thing is, once you have the sound in game, you also need to have a specification for that sound. So you create a file like that, and you can edit it to add sounds. It is important that you write all of this. You can find it on the GitHub repository. So if you want the complete boot up sound, it lasts about a minute. It's very long, but if you want it, you download it and you add this part to the sound event file. Then you, if you want the ammo depleted sound, but it's still not implemented in the script because, you know, the out of ammo event in the game is quite messy. But then there are these sound events which are not actually custom sounds. They are in the game, but I included them in this sound event files, in this sound event file, so that it is easier to use them. So if you want to just get started with the HEV stuff, you can just download this file and put it in your common Half-Life Alyx content, HLVR, name of your add-on, sound events. And of course, if you want the custom sounds, in the folder. Now, as for the scripts, they do not go in the common folder, I mean in the content folder, but they go in the game folder. So you go into game, HLVR add-ons, name of your add-on, scripts. You might not have this folder. In that case, you just create a new folder, call it scripts. Then you create a new folder inside and call it VScripts. And finally, here you can put the scripts. Now, the script that I am providing is HEV suit and radiation field. I will show you that in a second. Now, after you put the scripts here, you can go into Hammer and create a new scene. Quite simply, you know, let's just make a test place. You create a room, you flip it to normals, and then of course we're gonna need a light. So here, let's select this, make it a light omni. Oh, it's gonna be enough, but you know, let's make the room a bit bigger. So, okay, I think that's gonna be enough. So first of all, you're gonna want, of course, the info player start. So let's make the player start here. Then you are gonna want some trigger to get the suit itself. There are two ways you can do that. You can use a logic auto if you want it, for example, to you know, give you the suit immediately after you start the game. So in that case, you would do on map spawn, and you know, you would start the script in that place, but I'm gonna do it with a trigger so that we are sure that it's working. And of course, if you want to have a visual effect for the suit to be worn or something like that, in that case, because we don't have a suit model, I'm gonna use Gordon's model. I'm gonna make it prop dynamic so that it can disappear after we wear it. I'm gonna make the default animation. Yeah, I'm gonna make it ref pause so it remains still, and then I'm gonna create a trigger. Okay, I'm gonna make it like that, and well, yeah, it's just a test. And then I'm gonna tie it to a trigger once. Then we open the outputs to set the well, actually we still need to get the script in the map, so we create a new object and select the class logic script. Okay, this is going to contain the script, and we're going to call it HEV logic or something like that, and write in entity script HEV suit.lua. This is the name of the script I did. You should be able to see it here. No, actually no, of course. Well, but if you've put it in the right folder, it will work. So HEV suit.lua, that's an underscore. Finally, this by itself does not enable the script. So you go in the trigger or in the logic auto you made. You're gonna add an output and call it so on trigger HEV logic call script function, and you want to call HEV boot up. So the HEV boot up is actually the long sequence. So with the 1 minute long sound file that, you know, says welcome to the HEV protective system for use in hazardous environment. This is gonna last a long time. If you want to get it quick, you call boot up quick. Okay, so that way it will work. Still, you get the suit, but well, we want some way of making damage. Well, let's actually test it for now. Okay, so file, build map, build. And run it. Okay, in this case, okay, this is the quick sequence, so there's no message. So let's test the, wait, no, cancel. Let's test the sounds. I'm gonna do impulse 101 to get HO2 weapons in the testing area. And I'm gonna use the SMG. Okay.
Vital signs are dropping.
As you can see, when your health drops under 50, the suit is gonna make, you know, it's gonna start making sounds. With the original HEV suits, you don't get any sounds above 50 of health. Well, you don't get any health warnings. So, if you go to Hammer now, well, let's try, for example, adding new stuff. You know, there are some sounds that work out of the box, like when you give yourself an health vial, or when you get, let's see here, when you, for example, get grabbed by a barnacle, it's gonna play the major laceration message. But if you want to add more, you can use a logic player proxy, and I'm gonna call it player proxy. By the way, I'm gonna rename the Gordon model to Gordon, and this player proxy will be useful for a couple of things. First, if we go in the trigger, we can, for example, do on trigger HEV, player proxy, and set gloves Gordon. This is going to give the Gordon gloves, and we can also do on trigger Gordon, that's the player model, the HEV suit or Gordon model, and turn off so it turns invisible when we get the suit. So apart from that, we can use the player proxy to do a couple of things. We can go into outputs, add, for example, you can, a couple of triggers I've used, on player hit by spit, so when the Antillean worker spits on you, you can do HEV logic call script function with a parameter override of HEV, for example chemicals. That should work, in fact, chem, right? Yeah, HEV chem. You can also do, for example, on player coughed. So when you cough as Alyx, you can do HEV logic call script function, and you can call HEV toxins. This will do the will play the sound blood toxins, you know. And finally, I think the last one I did was about flashlight. So when you turn on the flashlight, HEV logic call script function with a parameter override of HEV flashlight. But that it's an optional, and you have to include the thing in the sound event as I showed you previously. So apart from that, you can also create some zones. Let's see, okay. You can also create some zones, for example, a radioactive zone. Let's make it now. So this is gonna be a trigger hurt. Because it's gonna hurt the player. So let's make it a low radiation. So select radiation, damage 1, for example. Now this by itself is not gonna make a sound. You know, it's not gonna make the suit say warning hazardous radiation levels detected. To do that, you go into outputs, add on hurt player, HEV logic, and you're gonna do run a call script function, HEV radiation. Alright, there are many others like you know, toxins, blood loss, well actually for the zones, electricity, biohazard, heat, you know, radiation, of course. There are many stuff you can do with that. So this is gonna trigger the warning the first time, But also, if you want, I have included the second script called radiation field, which is gonna trigger the it's gonna trigger the Geiger counter. So if you want to do that, you will have to include in the map a new logic script and use the script radiation field. It's called field, right? .lua, and this will be used to, you know, make those sounds. To do that, you will go here, outputs, add my output named on start touch. You're gonna reference the thing you just created, which you should name, of course, if you want to reference it. I will call it rod1. Then you go in the trigger, outputs, you're gonna select, well, no, on start touch, we're gonna select rod1, call script function with a parameter override of enter zone, I think, yeah, enter zone, that's the one. So if you do that, it will start playing the sound when you enter the zone, but you also want it to stop playing the sound when you get out. So on end touch, rod1, call script function, leave zone. Okay, that's gonna do that. If we go into build map, build, and then run it. Let's wait for it, yeah. Okay, so we get the suit, we're going to here, hazardous radiation levels detected. So, as you can see, oh wait, it's not playing the sound. I know why actually, because I forgot to, okay, you get your sound event, you want to do a full recompile. After you do that, you run it, okay? So you get the suit. As you can, well, detected. You can hear the Geiger counter sound, okay? Now, because I've recompiled the sound event file. Let's get out and it stops, okay? Now, if you want to make a field that has a more intense radiation level, you can make a new trigger hertz and make it so that it is entirely contained inside the previous trigger. Because if you don't do that, the script will not work. So you create a smaller trigger inside the first, so if you go deeper it is gonna do that, and in that case you select it, trigger hertz, okay, this one, go into outputs. In that case you want to do enter critical, enter leave critical, same events, but you're gonna change the functions. And if you do that, you go build map, build, and you run it. If you can see, well, of course, detected. Okay, so we've done that. If we go a bit deeper, you can tell that the sound frequency, you know, the frequency of the Geiger counter has increased. Well, it's hard to hear because we do not have any visual assistance to see where it does it. But if you do that correctly, it works. And of course, you might wanna make the damage a bit more, a bit higher if you are gonna make a higher, higher density of radiation, if that's what it's called. And of course, you can make other triggers with biohazard, for example. Let's make it here. Okay. Trigger hurt. Okay. I'm gonna make it a shock. Okay, that's electricity. And I'm gonna make it doubling with forgiveness. Damage pretty high. Okay. And in that case, I want it to give a force to the player. In that case, what direction is that? Okay, that's the x-axis. Okay, so in the x-axis, where is it? Trigger hurt. Okay, in the x-axis, you want the damage force to be +1 in that case, I think, yeah. Because if you move in this direction, it gets... Okay, no, it's -1 actually. So -1, because it gets lower. Okay, so in this direction, you're gonna have a force. Still, as I've said, it won't give you a warning if you don't go here and do on hard player, HEV logic, call script function, HEV electricity, yeah, that's the one. So you do that, you go into build map, build, wait for it, okay. So we get the suit, and we go here.
Warning. Electrical damage detected.
Okay, it works. Great. Now, well, I think we've covered everything. There are some more sounds that, are played, but they're automatic. You don't need triggers. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to implement something like head crab damage, that, the slash type of damage that says minor or major lacerations. That has been an issue because for now the documentation of VScript is very poor, so it's a miracle we can actually do something like that for now. So yeah, I think I've covered everything, because if I go here, yeah, I've also created this map, which I think I've uploaded, where you can test stuff, health vial, explosives, that's a radiation field without the message, just to hear the Geiger counter. Oh, of course, yeah. So for now, the the energy level of the HEV suit doesn't do anything, but I have included, well, there's no need to build it. I have included a energy level sound. So if you go here and get the suit and you get in that trigger,
power level is 25%.
So if you want to use that, what it does is just on start touch, HEV logic, HEV battery. What is that? So HEV battery is a part of the script, a function that gives you 25% of power and then plays the, reads the power level out loud. So by itself, it's just that, but it does not have any use, in the actual script, the power level, I mean. So here I've made a video about all these different, type of warnings, but, you can have you can have fun implementing the script in your maps and tell me if you have something that you'd like implemented. I will try. For example, Guardos or Givardos, I have no idea how to say it. He asked me for a ammunition depleted sound, this one. Well, sound.
Ammunition depleted.
Whoa, sorry, headphone users, but the event for the player out of ammo is really complicated. I have tried it for hours and it didn't work. I'll probably have another try when I can, but it's tough. It's really tough. But I think we've covered everything. Yeah. So have fun.
Ammunition depleted.
Last mag.
Ammunition depleted. Ammunition depleted.